If you want to make a great film, you can't ignore audio. You're probably shooting solo or working on a tight budget. You can still get pro-level sound without selling a kidney. In this video, I'm breaking down common audio mistakes and what you actually need for recording. How to pick the right gear or make the most of what you've got. I'll show you my favorite hacks to boost your sound quality. By the end, you'll know exactly how to get cinematic audio for your next project. Let's dive in. Great sound can make boring visuals look epic, or turn a dramatic moment into a joke. So what's the secret? As a sound engineer with tons of projects behind me, I tell you, the audience needs great sound, but they don't want to think about it. Sound has to serve the story quietly in the background. When something is wrong with your audio, people feel it immediately and they instantly get annoyed.
Boo this man!
I know it sounds like a paradox, but how can we make sound both great and invisible? Let's break it down step by step. Any great story requires clear dialogues. When audience can't hear the story, nothing else matters. And if you want to record your dialogues properly, the mic positioning is key. Your mic must be placed close to the mouth. So first, stop trusting your camera mic, because it really sucks. Your camera's internal mic is barely usable for recording dialogue because it's omnidirectional. It picks up sound from all sides at once, and it's tiny, cheap capsule hidden somewhere on the camera's body. So your audience hears every touch, every lens twist, wind gusts, even your breathing, but not your talent. Their lines get lost in noise because the mic is simply not close enough. Another problem with your camera is auto gain control. AGC is meant to protect you from clipping, and what's wrong with that? In reality, AGC sounds awful. It constantly adjusts the gain based on how loud the signal is. When things get quiet, your camera automatically cranks gain up. Now you hear a lot of preamp noise and ambient noise, then your talent starts talking and AGC slams gain back down. That rising and falling noise becomes a breathing effect that pulls attention away from the scene. And here you are, with two problems at once: a noisy mic and a pumping, unstable level. It sounds painful amateur, and this kind of shit is almost impossible to fix in post. So is the camera audio hopeless then? Not really. The audio input can be a very promising option solving your problems. Using this tiny port, you can play hard and record your dialogues with an external microphone. And one of the most common solutions is a shotgun mic. Filmmakers love shotguns because of their narrow directionality. It works like a sound filter. The mic picks up sound from the front way, and noise coming from the sides gets cancelled. The things no one tells you is how to control the shotgun microphone. If you look at the mic's body, you see a train of side slots. For better isolation, orient them toward the main sources of unwanted noise. The isolating factor depends on the mic's length. If you use the longer mic, you'll record less background noise, but you'll have to be more precise about pointing it at the actor, just like with the telephoto lens. There are two popular ways of using a shotgun mic. Firstly, it can be mounted on top of the camera. Honestly, it's rarely a good idea. Of course, this approach gives you an exceptional mobility in a variety of situations. It picks up sound from in front of the camera, which can feel natural. So, mounting a directional mic on your camera is beneficial. But often the camera position that looks good for the frame isn't so great for sound clarity. A shotgun mic can also make your setup bulky. So how you deal with these trade-offs? The answer is boom pole, the most flexible way to use a narrow microphone. You can position camera and the mic independently, which gives you a great shot and cleaner voices. But it requires a boom pole stand or dedicated boom operator for moving scenes. Those limitations is exactly why lavalier mics are so popular. Lavalier mic gives you close voice recording no matter how far your talent is. There are lots of techniques that allow you to hide it in closing or props, and all that make them perfect for interviews or movie dialogue scenes. Additionally, many lavalier systems have internal recording. It's a life-saving feature for when you make extremely wide shots or when the radio signal is unreliable. Just hit the record and sync the audio track with your footage on post. As you can see, the camera's input can be a decent starting point, but in reality you still can't quickly control levels, and the preamps inside the camera start to hiss as soon as you push some gain. If you're truly serious about sound, you must use an external audio recorder. The biggest benefit of having a field recorder is the quality of audio it lets you capture. So why exactly field recorders are such game changers? Firstly, it's preamps. A lot of people don't realize how important they are. Technically, a good preamp is like a good video sensor that gives you a clear picture at high ISO. Preamp amplifies the weak signal from your microphone to the line level standard suitable for recording. In real life, any amplification brings up some noise, like this. So it's important to have a good preamp. Preamps used in the field recorders are usually way better than cheap ones in your camera. Also, if you need to record and effectively control 5, 8 or more people at once, you don't have other way to go, you need a multitrack recorder. Low noise floor is especially vital when you record in several mics at once. 6 or 8 noisy tracks mixed together will make your film sound like an old radio. Ultimately, a multi-channel recorder lets you capture each mic on its own track, all perfectly in sync. That is exactly what you want in post. Clean, independent channels ready for editing, cleanup and mixing. Let's take a look at very basic audio setup. First, connect your mics to a field recorder, so all of them recorded as a multitrack file. Then, send the recorder's mix to your camera's audio input. Now your video file will contain a clean reference track. This track will make it easier to sync your video with the multitrack in post. Often pocket recorders come with an exciting bonus, a stereo mic on board. This feature lets you capture authentic atmospheres. Those wide ambience tracks is one of the greatest way to get an immersive and cinematic soundtrack for your film. Well, now let's talk about classic and reliable way to record cinematic voice lines. When it comes to dialogues, a mix of a shotgun and lavalier microphone can be a very smart way to go. Here's how it works and why you would need it. The lapel mic gives you safety and very dry voice. No matter what happens, if the actor moves, turns away, whispers, the sound doesn't change. You've got clean dialogue, the sound can be not so natural, but it stays here safely and consistently. Shotgun mic gives you natural sound. It has space and realism. You can hear when your talent moving around. This is the track you might actually want to use most of the time. But honestly, it can be too unstable. So you record both microphones at once on their own channels. And the real magic happens when you blend the lavalier and boom tracks together. The lavalier mic gives more presence when the boom mic is missing, while the boom adds you all the vibe, all the atmosphere. So that lav and boom combination widely used and gives you great controllable dialogues. But you know, great power comes with great responsibility. Now when you know the basics, let's talk about audio mistakes that can cost you time, money, and even a good film. The top-tier beginner blunder is filming without headphones. And honestly, it's not even up for debate. Trust me, you gotta listen to what you're recording, not just watch those meters dance. Headphones is the only way to detect noise issues or signal interruptions. Seriously, just toss a pair of wired buds in your bag, add them to your pre-shoot checklist, and your future self will thank you. The second mistake often happens when you record sound to an external recorder, but forget to turn on sound in the camera. So later, in editing, your video is silent and you have nothing to help match the external recorded tracks with your picture. Syncing becomes a huge headache. Of course, the smartest way is to use a clapper or timecode to lock everything together, but in any case, just never turn off the built-in mic. The truth is, there are filmmakers who have backups, and there are ones who already have backups. Choose who you want to be. Another big nightmare is recording a few microphones at once but on different devices. This is typical for multicam setups when you have several cameras, several mics, and each camera records its own mic. It might seem fine at first, but trust me, separating mics can give you some weird hell. The problem is each camera records digital audio based on its own independent internal clock. Those clocks know nothing about each other, so cameras sampling audio with slightly different frequencies. It's like two cars driving in the same direction but at different speeds. Over time, the distance between the cars is growing. When cameras record in your audio, they can also drift apart. And all you get is a bunch of unsyncable audio tracks. Even if you make them perfectly spot on at the beginning, By the time you're 40 minutes in, the time difference between the tracks accumulates to a second. That's quite a difference for audio. You can manually sync your tracks together again, but the problem will keep coming back further into the recording. There are two ways to avoid this. First one is timecode. You jam all your recording devices to the same timecode generator like a tentacle sync unit. Now they all listen one master clock. These wireless Pokemons can feed timecode into a dedicated TC input or even an audio input. Whatever you choose, it keeps your setup synchronized. If you don't have a TC generator, your golden rule is to record all your mics into one sync, so your audio channels are sampled and recorded with just one camera internal clock. Now the tracks share the same sampling rate, their same length, and you have no weird effects while using them all together. This will definitely save your day. We've hit some screw-ups, every filmmaker's been there. If you got your own terrible stories, share your pain below in the comments. And finally, let's dive into audio hacks for broke cinematographers. Because field recorders can cost you a penny, right? When all you got is just your camera, you absolutely can use your phone as a mic to record a better dialogues. Just hit the record and hide your phone in a shirt pocket. Most likely nobody's gonna know. If you want to try a lavalier mic, go for it. I wouldn't count on winning Oscars, but it'll get the job done. And here's a super cheap and effective way to hide your mic without a pro concealer. Take two small pieces of gaffer tape. Stick one to the spot when you want the mic, then place your mic on the sticky side of the second strip. Make the tape just a little bit visible. Now just stick your mic onto the prepared place. Looks good? This trick is super versatile. You can place the tape sandwich on the shirt collars, t-shirt necklines, hats, or even props. As a takeaway, here's what you need to remember. Film audio isn't always about the equipment. It's about knowledge, creativity, and desire to tell the story. Sometimes your sound gear looks crap, but as long as it works, nobody cares. Poor soundtrack kills even stunning visuals, but great audio always elevates mediocre footages. You don't always need top-notch gear. A phone, a camera, a cheap recorder, they all work if you understand the basics. And learn from others' mistakes. Always monitor your audio with headphones and place your mic close. That's it for today. You can like the video or subscribe for more filmmaking hacks. Just don't ignore audio ever again. Your future projects will thank you. I'm Slava, I appreciate you watched me. See you in the next one. Bye.